Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India and the European Union to hold 16th India-EU summit in New Delhi to announce mother of all trade deals as the two sides successfully conclude negotiations for the proposed free trade agreement. US President Trump sends border czar Tom Homan to Minnesota as protests continue after fatalized shootings. Some federal agents to leave Minneapolis after mayor speaks to Trump. Trump says tariffs will rise to 25% from 15% on South Korean imports, accuses legislators of not living up to trade deal. And big guns are in action in the Australian Open quarterfinals today. Arana Sabalenka, Carlos Alcaraz and other leading contenders eyeing semi-final spots. In a significant move to strengthen and deepen security partnership between two of the world's largest democracies, that is the European Union and India, they will unveil a security and defence strategic partnership at the 16th India-EU summit in New Delhi today. DD India's Amritpal Singh gets us more on this.
Of the security and defence partnership by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and the Vice President of the European Commission, Kaja Kallas, in New Delhi on Tuesday. The third such comprehensive agreement that the EU has signed in Asia, following Japan and Korea, will facilitate interoperability in the defense domain and open up avenues for Indian firms to participate in EU's SAFE or Security Action for Europe program. Describing the participation of an EU military contingent at the Republic Day parade as a powerful symbol of deepening security cooperation between the two sides, EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen on Monday said it will culminate tomorrow in the signature of our security and defense partnership. Earlier, EU Foreign Affairs and Security Policy Chief Kaja Kallas had also confirmed the development.
We agreed to move forward with the signature of a new EU-India security and defense partnership in areas like maritime security, cybersecurity and countering counterterrorism. We will also launch negotiations on a security of information agreement. In a more dangerous world, we will both gain from working closer together.
The partnership agreement will provide a structured framework for cooperation in areas such as maritime security, cyber and hybrid threats, protection of critical infrastructure, counterterrorism, organized crime, space security, and collaboration in multilateral fora, including in the United Nations and peacekeeping operations. Amritpal Singh for DD India.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met with Vice President of the European Commission, Kaja Kallas, in New Delhi. In a significant move to further deepen security partnership, the European Union and India will unveil a security and defence strategic partnership at the 16th India-EU summit in New Delhi today. The third such comprehensive agreement the EU has signed in Asia following Japan and Korea will facilitate interoperability in the defence domain and will open up avenues for Indian firms to participate in EU's SAFE of Security Action for Europe program. The partnership agreement will provide a structured framework for cooperation in areas such as maritime security, cyber and hybrid threats, protection of critical infrastructure, counterterrorism, organized crime, space security and collaboration in multilateral fora, including in the United Nations and peacekeeping operations. Up on your screens, we have this visuals of the meeting. The partnership also envisages regular strategic dialogues which could open the door for India's participation in select EU defence sectors. Also at the summit, India and EU are also in fact set to launch the negotiations for a security of information agreement, which would enable broader sharing of classified information and is expected to boost industrial defense cooperation between the two sides. Though the two sides have conducted joint naval exercises in the past and have had maritime security cooperation, including in the Indian Ocean in June 2025, the Gulf of Guinea in October 2023, the Gulf of Aden in June 2021, alongside collaborative escort operations of humanitarian assistance near Somalia in 2018 and 19. The current period is being seen as a culmination of intensifying relations, as both sides now recognize their security and prosperity are fundamentally linked. So up on your screens, we have the visuals of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh meeting with Vice President of the European Commission, Kaja Kallas, in New Delhi. This is significant to further deepen security partnership. The European Union and India unveiled a security and defence strategic partnership at the 16th India-EU Summit in New Delhi. The third such comprehensive agreement that EU has signed in Asia, following Japan and Korea, will facilitate interoperability in the defence domain and also open up avenues for Indian firms to participate in European Union's SAFE or Security Action for Europe program. All right, Akshay Dongre is joining us with more. Akshay, good morning. Up on your screens, we see that Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is meeting with Vice President of the European Commission, Kaja Kallas. And also this is ahead of the landmark Security and Defence Pact, which will also be announced today at the 16th India-EU Summit. Get us more on this. We have given a broad outline of how this will benefit both India and the European Union, but you get us more details. In simple terms, explain to us how this meeting or this Defence Pact could help in further strengthening the relationship between EU and India.
Well, Preeti, if you're looking at the close ties between the two countries, between the two parties here, the European Union and India, both are democracies, as you have rightly mentioned. Both have long-standing defence agreements as far as the respective nations of the European Union are concerned. France is one of the largest defence sort of partner when it comes to the Indian security. We are operating Mirage 2000 aircraft. We operate Indian Air Force operate the Rafale aircraft. We have been operating the Jaguars of the United Kingdom, and several of the countries from Europe have been in close defence ties as far as the historical defence ties between the two sides are concerned. And to move ahead in this direction, the two sides are looking at deepening this framework that has existed for decades now, and not only on the defence manufacturing and defence supplying of armaments and equipment, but also as far as the security of the two regions are concerned. Both have realized that in these times of these turmoils, in these turbulent times, it is for the two democratic sides to stand with each other in terms of security, in terms of intelligence, in terms of other things as well. So what we are seeing and what we are going to see as far as the summit is concerned is that both India and European Union will not only be sharing more strategic information, but also be looking after each other's security requirements as well on international forums, on other areas of concern. Both these sides are set to in fact deepen the ties in terms of defence, when we talk about defence, obviously the defence manufacturing part becomes one of the most essential ones and one of the most relevant ones as well. So in the future we can see a more joint collaboration between the Indian firms and the European firms as far as the manufacturing of these cutting edge technologies and sharing of these vital information between the two sides.
All right. Akshay, what are the specific areas when we talk of defence which would benefit after this Defence Pact is signed, announced between European Union and India?
Well, counter-terrorism is one of the most important things which we should be focusing on as far as the two sides are concerned. Both have been victims of cross-border terrorism. Both have been victims of international terrorism and the terrorist cabals that have been operating from countries such as Pakistan, who have targeted not only India but European countries as well. The radicalization of people in different is also one of the key areas that the European Union and India will be looking at. Terrorism becomes one of the most important and relevant topics as far as sharing of information and critical technologies are concerned to counter terrorism and other areas related to that. Besides that, defense manufacturing obviously is one area which is being looked at very keenly. From the Scorpion submarine deals to other fighter aircraft deals that India has signed with European countries, it has benefited European Union as a whole as well. It's not just the countries that are benefiting from the defense deals with India, but also the entire European Union as a whole unit has gained a lot. And in the future, the European defense firms look at the Indian defense firms to join collaborate with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Make in India vision turning into reality, and more of the manufacturing units being moved to India, the manpower being utilized as far as the European firms are concerned, the technology that India has, and the leverage sort of it has on the defense areas is quite vital for the European Union as a whole. But also, when we talk about India, India can also learn from the decades-old, quite advanced defense sector of India. What we are looking at is quite an important defense agreement to be signed by those two sides, and there will be multiple layers in it, and it's been vetted, it's been studied for decades now as far as the deal is concerned, and it's going to be quite beneficial for both sides.
All right, it will be beneficial for both the sides, but also this deal, this agreement, which the EU has signed, this comes as, for India, this is, in fact, when we talk of India, then this is the third agreement which EU is signing after Japan and Korea. In Asia, India is the third country with which EU is signing this deal. What more light does it throw on the stature of India in Asia, one, and also to what extent will it further strengthen, again, as I asked you earlier, also strengthen the relationship between EU and India, given the fact that India is the third country, only third country in Asia with which EU has signed this Pact agreement?
Well, that's an obvious choice because India is also the fourth largest economy in the world, and it's a democratic country. So if you look at South Korea and Japan, both are democratic countries with which European Union has signed these agreements. Both have a similar way of thinking, similar values, similar ethics when it comes to governance. It is but a natural choice to move towards India as one of the largest markets in the world.
All right, Akshay, also get us a sense of the EU 16th India-EU summit that will be held today. We tell our viewers that today the FTA will be finalized, will be announced, and also, as you also put forth for us, that the Landmark Security and Defence Pact is being signed. So put all this together, how do we understand this visit of the delegation from European Union? To what extent will it further strengthen this already strategic partnership between European Union and India, given the way Ursula von der Leyen has called this trade deal as the mother of all trade deals?
Well, what we are expecting right now, and obviously being optimistic as far as the free trade agreement is concerned, though it will be limited to a certain extent, and the talks have been going on for quite a lot of time. In fact, the talks first emerged in 2007, so it's been quite a long time, almost 18 years that it has taken to finally deal being finalized, because there were a lot of roadblocks, there were a lot of logjams that had to be cleared before such a massive deal to be signed. However, what the fine print and the core information of the deal will be announced by the government itself. And what we're expecting is from auto sector to defense, from other manufacturing areas to pharma sector, a lot will be open to both the sides as far as this deal is concerned. And we are expecting that the economies of both the sides will benefit greatly from it. Back to you.
All right. Yes, Akshay, with this deal, India will have access to the 27 nations of the European Union when we talk of trade. Also, let's talk of the timing of this summit. It comes at a time when, the world is facing U.S. sanctions, unleashing of the U.S. sanctions. And at the same time, when India has this opportunity of access to these European Union markets, how further can that be taken forward, and how further that can be used for strengthening, not only just the relationship between India and European Union, but for India overall?
Well, it's going to be beneficial, obviously, Preeti, because if a trade deal is between the two sides, in the European Union remains one of the most powerful economically and military-wise bloc in the world, and you're signing a free trade agreement with them. So your market obviously is going to be open for them. Their market is going to be open for you. A lot less tariffs, a lot less duties on each other's products. So business will grow, trade will grow. In defense sector, cooperation is going to grow. Sharing of information and intelligence is going to further deepen in the years to come. So it is going to be quite beneficial for both the sides, really.
All right, Akshay, stay with us. But at present, we are getting the remarks of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh at this meeting. Let's hear him. As we await the remarks by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, these are the visuals we're getting for you in the national capital, where the meeting between EU delegation and the Indian delegation is taking place to sign the landmark Security and Defence Pact. And our correspondent Akshay is there with us. Akshay, please continue. I think we've lost contact there with Akshay. We'll try getting back to him. But at present, we will get to the remarks of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh at the signing ceremony. Let's listen to him.
And your visit is very special, and it comes on the occasion of our 77th Republic Day. The occasion marks a moment in celebration of India's constitutional journey and the reaffirmation of our commitment to global peace and security. Secondly, the shared principles of democracy, multilateralism, and the rule of law support India's growing partnership with the European Union. Together we seek to translate each shared value into practical cooperation for global security, sustainable growth, and inclusive prosperity. Especially the signing of the security and the defense partnership between India and the European Union is a reflection of the collective trust in action, and it brings us together in an increasingly complex global environment. I hope the increased momentum of India's EU partnership in economic, defense, and people-to-people connect will bring the two ancient civilizations much closer.
Between India and EU on security and defence. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, in his opening remarks, talked of India's commitment and India's concerns about global peace, multilateralism. He also talked of how, in the longer run, the Defence Pact will be beneficial for both European Union and India. So here we have delegation-level talks between Kaja Kallas, representing the EU delegation, and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, representing the Indian delegation. This is ahead of the 16th India-EU summit that will take place on Tuesday, today. And here we have the signing of the Pact, Security and Defence Pact between European Union and India. This is in fact significant because this is the third EU Defence Pact in Asia after having signed a pact with Japan, Korea. So India marks the third nation, in fact only the third nation in Asia with which European Union has signed a defence pact. The Indian firms are also eyeing participation in European Union SAFE program, when we talk of the areas of cooperation, then maritime, cyber, space, security cooperation will be expanded. We have the remarks of Kaja Kallas, Vice President of the European Commission. Let's hear her. This is ahead of the pact that was being signed between India and European Union. Let's listen in.
Republic Day was quite an experience, so thank you for that as well, Your Excellency. I mean, it was so great to see, and I was so proud to see that also our operations were part of this parade, and I think it shows how we have been able to work together. Like you say, the signing of the Security and Defence Partnership is really a milestone, and we can build on that. There is so much more, like you said, Your Excellency, that we can work together on the multilateral fora, but also bilaterally to develop the defence cooperation further. So I really look forward to our discussions today and further cooperation in the future.
So these are the visuals of the meeting between Kaja Kallas, Vice President of the European Commission, and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, as both European Union and India signed the landmark Security and Defence Pact. This pact will boost defence interoperability and industry ties. Also in his opening remarks, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh talked of global peace, multilateralism, and how this pact will strengthen EU and India relations further. On her part, Kaja Kallas, Vice President of the European Commission, also called this pact a milestone, and how this will in fact go a long way in further strengthening the relationship, the defence ties between European Union and India. So as of now, that's it in this edition of News Hour. But during the day, we will keep tracking the developments with regard to 16th EU-India Summit. Stay with us. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.